My name is Luke Bashford. I am located in Denver, Colorado, and I am a manager at Kinetech. I think it's so powerful just because of how flexible it is and how much is already built for you. If you have a client come to you and they say, hey, I want this thing, right away, no matter what the thing is that they want, it's very likely that Mendix has a module or a widget or something that can really jump you forward in the process of building a solution for that client. I think Mendix's biggest strength, kind of outside of that, is just the fact that it is a widely accepted tool. I feel like if you're good at Mendix, you're always going to have work. You're always going to be in demand. I think every Mendix developer could agree that it is a constant barrage of LinkedIn recruitment messages. Hey, we have a job for this. We have a job for this. We have a job for this. And it is just endless. And I think Mendix is really just kind of getting started, and you're always going to have some pretty solid options for work. I think it would be my most recent client. The client side of things has been a roller coaster from both sides, right? And Mendix has been this tool that we've used for this client to solve really, really complex problems. They have a massive database of information that has to automate really complicated processes. And we were able to build, visualize, create, and expand this system that can automatically generate all the documents they need from a very complex matrix of configurations. And I think that's probably the most challenging problem, was that business use case. The Mendix project that I am most proud of is actually my current client engagement. I've been working with this client for about 15 months at this point. Throughout my Mendix career, I feel like sticking with a client that long is actually very uncommon. For the first few years of my experience on the platform, I was never with a single client for more than maybe 8 to 10 weeks, right? And now I'm with this client going on a year and a half. And it's been really rewarding just because of the fact that I've been able to plan a project, kick off a project, build a project, scale the team, do everything start to finish on a really large project, rather than just kind of come in, build something real quick like Mendix wants you to do, right? You can go in, we can build it super fast. Here you go, here's your app, see you later. We're doing that, but we're doing it at a scale that is just light speed, massive, very detailed. And it's something that when I'm finished with this client, I'll be able to go back and have a perfect example of what a year and a half long project can look like using Mendix, growing a team, training people, helping client developers adopt the Mendix platform itself, right? And then stepping back and feeling comfortable that, hey, I started this and they had never used Mendix, and now they're their own self-sustaining development machine still using the platform. Well, right now I'm working on a project that I've been on for well over a year. The industry that it is in contract expediting for commercial construction and improvement of buildings out of New York City. And so they have, again, a lot of red tape, a lot of legal documentation, a lot of categorical requirements, structures, different entities that we interact with, which end up being integrations with their city systems. And it's very, very involved, but very cool. I've worked in a ton of verticals in the past. I've worked in gas and oil. I've worked in healthcare. I've worked in biotech. I've worked in FinTech and GovTech to an extent. And this has been probably one of the more difficult verticals to really wrap my head around. I think 99% of all of the vertical terminology is an acronym for something. And I remember day one, we sat down and they were like, oh yeah, the COC and the OCMC and DOT and DOF. And I'm sitting there just like, yo, you're gonna have to write that down because I have no idea what you're talking about. It felt like a foreign language. So the aha moment for me, I remember exactly when it was. I was very early in my Mendix experience, and I was training with some people from the Dutch team overseas. And they were trying to teach me how to integrate and build a deep link. And at the time, we didn't have a lot of extended Mendix Academy exposure. We didn't have a lot of internal training exposure. We were a very small team of 4 developers at that time. And I'm sitting there trying to figure out, how do I make this deep link work? And I would go onto the Mendix forum and I would see these posts from like 9 years ago from some Dutch guy. And it was like, hey, just do this. And they would show a screenshot of like Mendix 2 from long, long ago. And they said, oh, just integrate, just do this, this, this. And I'm looking at what I have now and it was nothing like that. And I think I spent probably, 3.5 days trying to build this demo application that would highlight how a deep link works. And I just was doing it wrong. And then I finally got it. And when I finally got it working and I went to the configuration, I clicked the button and the deep link worked and took me to the right page, everything just worked in my head with Mendix from then on out. Because everything that I was doing wrong was just a product of me trying to do too much, as funny as that sounds. And if you just let Mendix do what it's best at and simplify everything for you, it was just a matter of making sure the 3 configuration pieces were correct, making sure the values were correct, hit go, and it was done. But I spent days and days and days doing it wrong. And now, 5 years later, someone says, hey, we need a deep link. It takes like 10 minutes. With Mendix, kind of a secondary aha moment was just that moment where you realize that Mendix is no longer your limiting factor and that you actually can approach anything with Mendix and build it. And then after that, you now have the freedom to work on all your other skills, whether you want to be a better consultant and work on your soft skills, right? Or if you want to do more of solution architecture and focus on like database related efforts. There's all these different things you can do. You're not just a Mendix developer once you get past that kind of 2-year point with the platform. I'd say my superpower is actually not even the development part of it. It's everything that goes around the development, right? I think a lot of people can pick up the Mendix platform and build something, but I was told long ago that just because you can build something doesn't mean that it's good, right? And the difference between a really good Mendix developer and a very junior Mendix developer is not the speed at which you can develop. It's the quality, the scalability, the efficiency of what you're actually developing, and how you communicate that sort of to and from the clients that you're working with, right? You're never going to be told exactly how to build something as a developer from a business engineer at a client that just started using the platform. So then you have to take your development skills, put them through your head in a way where you can say, okay, I'm going to be a consultant now. I'm going to be a business engineer with them, and I'm going to help them help me understand what I'm actually supposed to do it for them. And then they realize, oh yeah, this is exactly what we wanted. That's what we told you, even though they didn't really tell you that. If I had to give advice to an aspiring low-code developer, it would be to connect with talented and skilled developers, first and foremost. I think there's amazing resources out there to get started on the platform, and there's resources to kind of hit checkpoints throughout your career, right? Go on the Mendix Academy, get RAD certified, get your intermediate, your advanced, work towards your expert certification. Those are the major checkpoints for development, but that's not really the ultimate goal, right? The ultimate goal is to be revered in the Mendix community as a reliable, talented developer, as a skilled consultant, as a person that people can go to with questions about anything, right? And if you're just a developer, you're not really going to propel yourself forward in a way that is sustainable. Whereas if you build those other skills, build your network, learn from people that you perceive as being better developers or better consultants than you, you're going to grow your network, you're going to grow your skills, and people are going to see this and be able to kind of speak highly of you as you kind of build your career that way. It would probably be something completely different. I've always wanted to open a restaurant or a bar. And so if I suddenly got like Men in Black flashy light and lost all my development skills and had no idea what I was doing, I might go and open a restaurant.